for the mic.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وعنه قال حدثنا رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم حديثين رأيت أحدهما وأنا أنتظر الآخر. حدثنا إن الأمانة نزلت في جذر قلوب الرجال ثم علموا من القرآن ثم علموا من السنة. وحدثنا عن رفعها قال ينام الرجل النومة فتقبض الأمانة من قلبه فيظل أثرها مثل أثر الوقت ثم ينام النومة فتقبض فيبقى أثرها مثل أثر المجل كجمر دحرجته على رجلك فنفط فتراه منتبرا وليس فيه شيء ويصبح الناس يتبايعون ولا يكاد أحد يؤدي الأمانة فيقال إن في بني فلان رجلا أمينا ويقال للرجل ما أعقله وما أظرفه وما أجلده وما في قلبه مثقال حبة من خردل من إيمان. متفق عليه. اللهم انفعنا ما ينفعنا وزدنا علما. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. My dear respected and honorable viewers, listeners, as our daily DARS after Isha Salah from the famous book of Hadeeth, the book which is taught in all Darul Ulooms in Islamic seminaries, the book Mishakatul Masabih. And we are on the final chapter, the chapter of trials and tribulations and the events which will take place near to the last hour. And I have read the third hadith. Okay. So the third hadith. So the first hadith she read a few days ago was the hadith of Hazrat Hadeeth radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, where he mentioned Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam had informed the Sahaba of all the signs and the events which will take place before Qiyamah. And some of the Sahaba, those who remembered, and those who preserved it, those who remembered it, preserved it, and some they forgot it. And also the hadith that fitna will be casted on the hearts of believers like a chitai. Chitai is like a reed, a mat made out of dates, date palms or date trees or date branches. And the hearts are of two types. It's either the white heart, the heart which has not been affected by the fitna, and even in the times of trials, in the times of fitna, the heart is to incline towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, towards masjid, towards doing good. And then there is the black, ashy heart. That heart that even two qualities of a person whose heart is black, whose heart is ashy due to engaging in so much sin and not worrying about iman, not worrying about namaz, not worrying about coming onto the straight path. That لا يعرف معروفا ولا ينكر منكرا. They will not recognize the righteous, what is good. They will not recognize the pious people of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They will not recognize the ulama, even when they see somebody that is inviting them towards good, towards obeying the commandments of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, towards working on the iman. They will show no interest. And the second quality is وَلَا يُنْكَرُ مُنْكَرًا, that they will not acknowledge evil. They will not acknowledge that which is a sin. So guna and sin will have their mind and their hearts will not comprehend that this is a sin. They will do it thinking it is the norm. And this will be at the time of fitna. And the hadith which I read in the khutbah, it's about faith will be removed from the hearts of the believers. Iman and amanat will be removed from the hearts of the believers. How? Inshallah, we'll find out in the hadith. Again, Hazrat Hudayfa radiyallahu ta'ala an narrates that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam taught us and informed us of two things. رَأَيْتُ أَحَدَهُمَا, one of them I had seen in my lifetime, وَأَنَا أَنْتَظِرُ الْآخَرَ, and for the other I am still waiting, I have not seen it. حدثنا, he had informed us, إِنَّ الْأَمَانَةَ نَزَلَتْ فِي جَذْرِ قُلُوبِ الرِّجَالِ, that trust and faith had been penetrated in the hearts of the believers. ثُمَّ عَلِمُوا مِنَ الْقُرْآنِ, then they had gained knowledge of the Quran, and then they had gained knowledge of the Sunnah. So first, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or first what has been inserted into our hearts is trust and is belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is why in the Makkans, in the Makkan life, in the Makkan era, 13 years it was just about learning and teaching Iman. تعلمنا الإيمان ثم تعلمنا القرآن. We learned Iman first and then we learned Quran. And this is, we find from the conversations of the Sahaba Ikram radiyallahu ta'ala anhum, when they would sit amongst themselves and when they would converse, they would say that Ijlis bina sa'atan, sit with us for a moment. نحن نجدد إيماننا, let's renew our iman. They always had this worry of renewing their iman, always worrying about how they can recharge the iman. So this is the first thing which has been inserted into the hearts of believers, into the hearts of men and women. And then through the light of iman, through the light of faith, through the nur of iman, they understand and they are given the knowledge of the Quran and then the knowledge of the Sunnah. وَحَدَّثَنَا عَنْ رَفْعِهَا, then Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam informed us of the taking away of faith, of how faith and trust will be removed from the hearts of believers. He says, يَنَامُ الرَّجُلُ النَّوْمَةَ, a man will sleep. So here the scholars say that how will the sleep? It is either sleep as we normally sleep, or he will be neglectful. فَتُقْبَضُ الْأَمَانَةَ مِنْ قَلْبِهِ, and this faith and trust will be withdrawn from his heart. فَيَذِلُّ أَثَرَهَا مِثْلَ أَثَرِ الْوَقْتِ, and its mark will remain like the mark of a spot. We have a spot on our body, that is how Iman will remain in the hearts of the believers. ثُمَّ يَنَامُ النَّوْمَةَ, and then he will sleep again. So either he'll sleep as he sleeps, or he'll sleep of being very neglectful. فَيَبْقَى أَثَرُهَا مِثْلَ أَثَرِ الْمَجْلِ, and then the remain will be like the remains of a blister. كَجَمْرٍ دَحْرَجْتَهُ عَلَى رِجْلِكَ, similar to what happens when you drop live coal on your foot. فَنَفِتَ, and a water blister grows on it. فَتَرَاهُ مُنْتَبِرًا وَلَيْسَ فِيهِ شَيْءٌ, and you observe it swollen, but nothing is inside it. So first the Iman will be left. So how Iman will be taken away? That firstly it will remain like a spot, and then like a blister. And the reason why our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he gave the example of a blister and a spot. And what is the difference between a blister and a spot? A spot, the color remains, but a blister, even the color goes away. And then when there is pus inside it and it swellens up, then you see it, that a person will think that there is flesh inside it, but in reality there is nothing inside it, and this is because of water falling onto it. So that is how Iman will be of how iman and trust will be taken out of the hearts of believers. وَيُصْبِحُ النَّاسِ يَتَبَايَعُونَ, and people will arise in the morning, وَلَا يَكَادُ أَحَدٌ يُؤَدِّي الْأَمَانَةِ, and they will engage in buying and selling, and they would just about honor trust. Because nowadays, especially in buying and selling, we see that person is known to be when you see a top businessman, is who knows how to con people, who knows how to, avoid taxes, or who knows how to do things and avoid things like taxes, avoid all the nitty-gritty of things. So this is the time which we are living in, that there will be no trust left in trade. فَيُقَالُ إِنَّ فِي بَنِي فُلَانٍ رَجُلًا أَمِينًا, and then it will be said that in such and such town, in such and such village, there is a trustworthy person. It's so hard that you will see that, for example, in Sheffield there is such and such person, he is a very trustworthy businessman. So this is not something good, but it's to show that there are very, very few people left who you can trust. And those who are involved in business, you will see that it's very hard, and especially Muslims, very hard to trust them in business. And then وَيُقَالُ لِلرَّجُلِ, and then a remark would be made about another person. مَا أَعْقَلَهُ, how intelligent is that person. وَمَا أَذْرَفَهُ, how wise and excellent is that person. وَمَا أَجْلَدَهُ, and how well spoken is that person. وَمَا فِي قَلْبِهِ مِثْقَالُ حَبَّةٍ مِّنْ خَرْدَلٍ مِّنْ إِيمَانٍ, but he will not have in his heart even a mustard seed worth of iman. That you will see he looks like a very trustworthy person, and you trust him with your money, you trust him with your trade, because he looks like a very religious person. You see him in the first saf in the masjid, but in reality he is there to con you, he is there, he has no iman in his heart. And this is the time we are living in. It's very difficult to find people, very difficult to find trustworthy people. And this is one of the signs of the last day. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala save us from these type of people. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enable us. Because amanah, my dear respected brothers, it's a very big blessing. Those who do not betray, those who have been given a trust, they should fulfill the trust. La deena liman la amanata lahu, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam mentions, such a person cannot have iman who does not fulfill his trust. And also another hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, ayatul munafiqi thalath, the signs of a munafiq, the signs of a hypocrite. There are three signs of a hypocrite. That إِذَا حَدَّثَ كَذِبًا, when he speaks, then he lies. وَإِذَا وَعَدَ أَخْلَفَ, and when he promises, then he breaks his promise. وَإِذَا تُمِنَ خَانَ, and when you leave trust, when you leave a trust to him, when you hold him, and when you tell him, or if he is given an amana, then he betrays it. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not make us amongst those people, grant us true iman, give us the ability to work on our iman. And this is why when we go out in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, saying on this note, mashallah, the Jamaat will be leaving today, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept the time, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it a means of hidayah and guidance, spreading in all four corners of the world. And may He give us the ability to work on our iman, to recharge our iman. As we always worry about recharging our battery, recharging our phone, we need to also worry about recharging ourselves. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the ability to act about this. And said, subhanallah wa bihamdihi, subhanallah.